I made this num variable, so that's going to be what the user inputs into this program. So while the num is bigger than 0, then it's going to go through this while loop. And I initialized some variables within this loop, like initializing the persistence, and then the root for adding, and then the persistence for multiplying, and the root for multiplying. And I also made copies of num because I wanted to use num, but I didn't want to change the actual value of it, because at the end it's gonna have to output what num is in the summary statement. So I got these loops for the adding and then one for the multiplication. So in the adding loop, basically I have this sum that I set to 0, and it has to be the num has to be greater than 9 in order to go in here, because it has to be double digits, because if not, then it's already a single digit and then it can just bypass it. So in order to add the digits, I use this modulo, and then that will add on like the rightmost digit, so the ones digit, and then it's gonna do floor division on the num in order to like cut off the right digit, and it's gonna keep doing that until there's no digits left, and that means all the digits are added up. And as long as that number is less than 10, that means it's a single digit and is good. But if not, then it's going to do it again until there's a single number. And then it's the same thing for multiplying, but instead of adding, it's just multiplying, but it's basically the same thing. And then here are the summary statements that just print out the values for the persistence and roots. And then it's going to ask for another input. And so if it's positive, it'll go back, but if it's negative, then this won't be met, this condition won't be met. And so it's going to go to the end and say goodbye. If I enter something like 12, then adding is going to be 3, and then the multiplying is going to be 2, and that's obvious. Let's do something like 57. So 57, the adding is going to be 3, because 5 plus 7 is 12, and then 1 plus 2 equals 3, so that checks out. And then for multiplying, 5 times 7 is 35, 3 times 5 is 15, and 1 times 5 equals 5, so that also works. If I do a single digit like 4, then the adding is 4 and the multiplying is also 4. If I do 1, 2, 3, 4, then it matches the sample outputs that you had. And if I do 999, it also matches what you had. And if I enter a negative number, it's going to say goodbye. So goodbye.